Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I am Nev from the Riot Watch. It is August 29th, and things have been kind of calm for the last 12 hours. It's been a bit since I've made a video. Going off COVID time, it feels like 3 days, but it's really been 12 hours. COVID time, am I right, folks? Anyways, things are not as crazy. Not a whole lot of new stuff has happened. No new level of debauchery has happened. It's almost as if Kyle shot those three guys in the world, or at least the USA, just kind of puckered its butthole and was like, okay, we got to rethink this. All of a sudden, we had more National Guard in Kenosha. Before, they had a little sprinkling of National Guard, and apparently Kyle had to go down and wade into the chaos and lay down some personal protective violence in order for people to realize how crazy things had actually got. Mostly peaceful though, right, CNN? Anyway, since there's not a whole lot of new things to go through, I want to go through some old things and chew some fat on a few situations and definitions. Now, we definitely have a neo-fascism. I'm flat out calling this neo-fascism. And this neo-fascism is fascism, it's just on the other side of the coin. It is the same evil on the other side of the coin. You can fight so hard to be you can fight so hard to not be like somebody and then become exactly like them. Like right now, there's a publisher called Rooster Teeth that uses video game assets to make movies, and it's recently said it was deleting a bunch of its old movies because it has to update itself. There's a lot of people have to delete a lot of old things because the 90s was really edgy and we're not really so edgy anymore. But and then Rooster Teeth put out a post basically saying, like, if you're racist at all, there's the door. Something like, this isn't an airplane. You don't have to announce your departure, something like that. And then meanwhile, it turns out that they treat their employees like crud, and that's just how she goes. That's just how she goes. There is definitely a new fascism. It is the neo-fascism. So there's one thing about racist bigots that do exist in the States. They keep their mouths shut generally, unless they're at the coffee shop. They hang out with their friends, and while they're in their backyards, they're racist. But for the most part, they will not go out of their way to hurt someone. They just have their own stupid ass rhetoric, but they sure as hell don't go around and mess with people trying to enjoy a drink. It's not how you win friends and influence people. You keep your stuff to yourselves. You keep your shit to yourself. Now, over in Portland, Antifa has gone to protest outside of, and inside of the lobby, at least, of Mayor Ted Wheeler. Ted Wheeler's all like, hey, buddy, you guys, I'm with you. I'm with you guys. Why aren't you with me? Antifa's like, no. Black Lives Matter's like, no. The interesting thing is this guy is pretty far left, and I really think that if he wasn't in office, he would be out there protesting with Antifa, probably with a mask on. But the thing is, this makes me wonder, since this guy is working with Antifa and trying his best to be as far left as possible, if Antifa said, give us this thing or we will burn everything down, if Ted Wheeler came right out and gave it to them, they would still burn everything down, or it seems like they would still burn everything down. I'm just talking Antifa right now. I really don't want to talk about Black Lives Matter because let's get into that later. But first of all, I don't want to slander the name of Black Lives Matter. Anyways, we'll get into that a little bit later. It definitely looks like the man is coming to town when it comes to arrests. Police have arrested 46 people in that place for looting after the death of George Floyd. So sooner or later, the man's going to come around. Alright, so what I want to talk about now is Black Lives Matter, and once again, I don't have any idea what it's like to be a black man in the United States. Man, I see every day, every few weeks, I hear about a new lynching situation that happened back. I just heard about this situation of a kid who got lynched because he sent a Christmas card to a bunch of people, including a white girl he liked, and him and his dad got lynched for it. It's like, what the hell? There are definitely problems in the States. There are definitely things that the States have worked through. man, it's just so many messed up things. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I gotta say the medical stuff is not the best there. I really think if you guys, if the states could just remove the insurance companies and the CEOs at hospitals and get them more honest about how much everything costs up front, get honest people in those places, or just eliminate the frickin' insurance companies. If you don't agree with me, I bet that you've never worked directly with insurance for a lot of medical bills that your insurance wouldn't automatically help you with. I mean, there's just, but then again, every place has its problems. Every place has its problems, but this isn't how we win friends and influence people. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter now. It needs a leader. Black Lives Matter absolutely needs a leader like Martin Luther King to unite everyone, every Black Lives Matter all together. But right now, Black Lives Matter is an anarchy. It's an anarchy. The groups are satellite groups and they're all independently run. And I bet you if they all got together, they would not agree. But those groups should get together and find someone super intelligent and elect them and put them as number one that speaks for everyone, that speaks for all of them. Black Lives Matter has been around long enough, it can do something like this. And then once they get there, when someone stupid does something in the name of BLM can say absolutely not. And when BLM is actually at these things and sees people doing stupid things, they immediately take care of them. But right now, Black Lives Matter is in a state of anarchy where everyone is for themselves, or every group is for themselves, and they do things their own way. And I think that they need more oversight from within, from an honest, good person who wants who doesn't like human suffering and who wants to solve the situation peacefully. I bet if Martin Luther King was around, he would be perfect for this. But there are leaders like this. There are absolutely leaders like this out there, and Black Lives Matter needs to get them, and they need to bring everything together. And they can't be in this state of anarchy because there's a lot of crackheads, there's a lot of freaking idiots walking around saying BLM, and it's like as soon as you say BLM, they have this cloak of invulnerability around them and no one can touch them. And it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. We gotta be able to ring in the bad protesters. Yes, there are some bad protesters. There are some bad cops. But we gotta figure this stuff out and reduce the human suffering. Things are gonna get worse before they get better. I mean, the government checks to the corporations are running out this month. We're going to have a lot more people without jobs, and we're going to get a lot more rioting going on. So the thing is, if New York riots, Ontario will riot. If Seattle riots, Victoria, BC will riot. I have no idea why. It's just what happens. There's reverberations around the left community. We forget we're Canadians sometimes. And just like all media is left in the States, for the most part, it can also work that way for Canada. But hopefully we'll find a way around this. Hopefully everything will come back to being good. We will find balance. We will restore balance. Anyways, folks, that's it for me. Nev from the Riot Watch. Take care of each other, folks.